So, where were we with the story? Oh yes, in Albania. I don't know where exactly, but somewhere there, not far from Craiova. And um, we reached the mayor's house. Uh, we had a battery for the light, anyway. The mayor, as I said, was very afraid of. There's a parrot you don't see. Oh, you see him now. This is Puccini, listening to my story in his way. The mayor was very concerned that the population of the village will just come and get him. In fact, they had had some help, some aid from people maybe, who came to the village with some things. They distributed some, but then acrimony, envy, animosity, very nearly violence were generated by the good deeds, the good intentions of generous people. Shakespeare, hell is paved with good intentions. Indeed. So the mayor was worried that the people would see the van coming to his house, and then they would suspect that there was gold in the van, and there were also precious stones, or who knows what, and he became suddenly extremely wealthy. And with that in mind, people believe conspiracies everywhere, especially when they lack education, and in places like that village. And so he was worried that they would eventually come and take down his house, and he would end up not better off with some bottles of champagne or who knows what, but would become a pauper as a consequence of this aid being brought in. It was incredible. A telenovela, a soap opera, live and for real. Indeed, from what I know, what I can remember, they had started with the story before we arrived. They were anyway organized like in telenovelas, which, by the way, were becoming popular in the 1990s. The televisions had huge ratings with things from South America, Isaura, Isaura the slave, and with all sorts of combinations and incredible things happening, just like in this village of Oltenia. So there were two camps. I don't really remember who was on which side. I'm just mixing and throwing them out in the camp A and camp B by chance. So let's say there was the mayor in this group with his supporters, so to say, with maybe the head of the CHAPE, cooperative farm, the head of the post office, and maybe some other guy, let's say the former leader of the local Communist Party, if it wasn't the mayor himself actually. In the other, I think I recall the English teacher who was not doing any translation, anything for the mayor, hence the presence of the niece brought in from Bucharest to mediate and talk to the foreigners. The mayor didn't know English, and the English teacher did not want to participate. And then there were other notables from the school. I just think the head of the school, the priest was from this other camp too. It doesn't matter. The fact is that they were very angry with each other. They did not get along at all. True, at that time there were already disputes over land distribution and repossession. Briefly, as a background, what happened was this: when the communists came to power, they, not from the first moment, because they weren't really sure of their powers, and gradually they've got all of it, all the power, and they ended up confiscating the land from the peasants. And now, with freedom after the revolution, the land was supposed to be given back, but then there was a question of papers, property rights, and there was a commission, but the mayor was very important in deciding where to draw the line, especially when the two neighbors had various opinions. And a dramatic change was, if you ask one on the other side, one thought he has a few hectares from the land there, which his neighbor thought are his, actually. In the process, they also destroyed the irrigation system. They took everything they could. The cooperative farm was also dismantled. Sometimes construction machinery was just done to dust, or just pieces, unusable pieces, which could only be used as material for iron. They have this thing where they, even today, they do that, alas, here, and I understand in other places, from South Africa to places in Asia, where they take copper wire, good metal even from the railway lines. They just take it and they sell it in locations where they recycle things like iron, metal, lead, and so on. And they just come with stolen things, or in the case of cooperative farms, things which were just not. So there had been an animosity, a dispute, a tension, even hatred in some cases before we arrived. And it was incredible for us, and we can only imagine what the British people said when they saw this, that they're coming in with hopes and good intentions, did not really create paved hell, at least by good intentions, but they just added some stones and some wood to this burning fire. Well, more tomorrow.